going in here. Super pumped about that. It is 3 degrees Celsius outside. I think that's around, off the top of my head, like 38 Fahrenheit. So it's definitely a little bit nippy outside, and we've got rain. I've got a bee in here. I'm gonna have to zap that guy. The bee knows where the heat is. He's coming inside to keep nice and toasty with me. What I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna keep going on all my knife orders that I've got, and then also later on I'm going to be acid etching some blades, and I've had a lot of requests, a lot of questions about acid etching, so I'll just kind of show you what I use, and hopefully there'll be a little bit of information to you there, and then we'll see what else we can get up to today. Alright, I just confirmed that is not a bee, that is a hornet. Well, he's coming this way. We gotta get rid of him. I can't work in here with a hornet or a wasp. Oh, that. We got him. Okay, now we'll get to work. Okay, so one of the first things we need to think about when we're going to acid etch is you need your blade nice and clean. I like to do a two-step process for this. Step number one is lacquer thinner. Also, we've etched the blade, electrochemically etched it, so the logo is actually burned into, it's actually into the metal there, so it's recessed a little bit. I like to get that on before acid etching. Again, that is the first step. We'll let that dry. Let that dry for about 5 minutes. And then step number two of the cleaning process. I don't know if it's necessary to do 2 steps, but I've tried just lacquer thinner, just acetone, and this is the way I like the best. And we'll wipe it down with acetone. Again, we want to make sure we get this surface very easy, like completely free of oils, dirt, residues, anything that might interfere with the etch. Okay, let that dry for a couple minutes. I think we're ready to put this in the acid, but before I do that, the kiln just heated up, and I've got this sucker rough ground out, so we're gonna heat treat this. I haven't done one of these bushcrafters for a while, so I had a blank laying around, and while I was waiting for this, I thought I'd just grind it out real quick. There's like 10 minutes on the grinder, boom, drilled a couple holes. We'll get this into heat treat. We've got that in the heat treat, and let's go ahead and acid etch this now. I apologize, I think I'm coming down with something, because a couple days ago my wife was quite sick. She spent like the day in bed, really sore throat, and it went away after like a day. She got better, but I think I'm coming down with it. My throat is just raw as all get out, so I'm gonna try and keep the talking to a minimum here. We'll get this acid etched, and I want some chicken noodle soup. So for acid etching, there's a lot of different solutions you can use. I've tried quite a few of them. I tried muriatic acid, does not work that well. I've tried, some people use mustard to put a patina on, and that works. The results aren't always consistent and smooth. Like hot apple cider vinegar, hot vinegar, all kinds of things. The thing that I like the most, that I've had a lot of success with lately, is just ferric chloride, and I think this is pretty much like it's what most people use, I think. You get this stuff at electronics supply stores. They use it for prototyping and etching copper, so for laying out circuit boards and stuff like that. And this stuff that I get, it's really expensive. This little bottle is like 40 bucks. This stuff you don't have to mix or dilute at all. Some of them, I think you have to. I'm not entirely sure, but what I do for mine, I just keep it in this is ABS plastic. You don't want to store your ferric chloride in any metal container, obviously it'll eat through it. But a lot of these plastics like ABS as well as PVC, those all work really well for this. Incidentally, you see this thing melted the other day. I always keep it in the summertime. It lives like right beside my wood stove there. And then obviously I fired up my wood stove and I kind of forgot that it was there, and I just barely caught it before this whole thing just melted. That would have been such a mess. Ferric chloride everywhere. Also, when I use my ferric chloride, I actually dilute it with apple cider vinegar. The main reason is I was experimenting like in small containers of different ratios, 70-30, 70% ferric chloride, 30% apple cider vinegar, but it works really good, and it just allows me to have larger volumes for bigger blades without having to spend all that money on the ferric chloride. All right, so we'll take a little piece of this mechanics wire, cut it off, take a little bit of lacquer thinner, wipe that down. Again, just get rid of the oils. I'm not sure if it would really matter, but I don't want that in my solution. I may as well keep it as clean as possible. 1, 2, hookaroo. I'm not going to touch this with my hands because I don't want any oils to get onto the blade that we've just so meticulously cleaned. And then open up this bad boy. Oh my goodness. I kind of hoodwinked this lid when I melted this thing, so I got these big old water pump pliers. And then my Nipex. I guess the one way to look at it, is this a good child-safe lock? Okay, that's good, that's good. And all I'll do, sometimes I use a pencil, sometimes I won't. We might use something this time. Let's use this, the old Sharpie. And really all I do is just dunk it in like that. Let's see, the level right now is about to here. And let me take the camera off quickly so we can get a close-up of it going in. And right away you see it's very, very quick. When it's really nice and clean, you should get very fast results like that. It's not to say that we're going to leave it there. I like to get mine nice and dark. So we're just going to kind of park this here for a little while. And there's some people that say, you know, do very small dips, like a whole bunch of multiple dips, short times in, short times out. I've tried experimenting with that, and I honestly can't tell a difference. I find if I leave it in there for 5 to 10 minutes, it might seem like a long time, but it gives you a really, really nice dark etch. But again, a lot of this stuff you're going to want to kind of experiment on your own. Just try, you know. You can always dip it in again, right? So you don't want to just leave it and then come back an hour later and be like, oh man, that's way too much, because I've left blades in there too long and it'll actually give a really, really rough surface. I'll actually eat and it'll be almost like it's pitted or like you sandblasted it, which might be cool. That might be what you're after. But if you still want a nice, decent texture that's not too rough, just, you know, try it for a couple minutes, take it out, try it again. But just kind of experiment with it for yourself. Because like I said, I mean, I've got a different mixture here. I'm sure you're not going to be able to match exactly what I have. And even with the next batch that I make, it might vary a little bit. So I'll probably be kind of doing a couple tests again with that. I think that's the main thing with a lot of this stuff, is just to kind of test it out for yourself, experiment a little bit, and figure out what works for you. So we'll let that sit in there and we'll come back in a couple of minutes. All right, so I think we're ready to come out now. Yeah, looking good and dark. It's been about 5-7 minutes, and what I'm going to do, I like to take a Windex. I spray it off with Windex with ammonia, because the ammonia will stop the etch. It'll neutralize the acid and stop the etch. After I'm done that, I'll hit it with some Windex just so that we can prevent any possible further corrosion. Alright, so we've got that bushcrafter tempering right now. It's in its first temper cycle. While that's going on, I'm going to bring my little polisher and I'm actually going to polish it inside. Usually I like to put it outside, but it's raining right now, so I don't want to leave it outside in the rain. I'm going to get that thing going in here. It's going to be loud and obnoxious in here, but I'll put my earplugs in and I'm going to grind out a couple of other handles for some other knives. And I'm actually just going to end the vlog right here. I feel like I'm fading. I'm going downhill quick. My throat is just killing me. So hopefully this will be gone in the morning and then we'll be good to do another video tomorrow. Anyways, guys, a lot of you have asked how I do acid etching on my blades, so that was kind of the main point of this video. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of insight into how I like to do it. Maybe give you some ideas if you've never tried it and you'd like to get into it. It's a lot of fun. Gives you some different creative options and some other ways to dress up your blades. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you like this video, video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. You can click this circle right here, and then there's some other videos for you to watch here. You might find those interesting as well. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.